Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Phoenix Club.
Yay.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Phoenix Pod.
He's not here.
Bollocks.
I don't know what to do.
That must be why I'm lonely at the top.
Hey! Fantastic.
So yes, I am of course your host AXC, joined once again by a man who is half a man.
Did we get it?
No.
Fuck.
Good attempt though.
I keep going by the webcam because pulling the curtain away a little bit. We use a webcam so that, you know, we sort of like get things in sync. And if we want to sort of raise a point, we can sort of pay attention to each other by like I'm doing now, waving at Coxie through the camera. But yeah, normally I time it. You can't time it that way because I forget there's some slight delay.
So it must be like a split second of lag or something, or a second of lag.
It must be, but you'd have thought by now I'd have sort of perfected this sort of thing in practice. But no, absolutely not. I still fall for the visual cue, which in reality I shouldn't be doing. I should be going muscle memory now. But,
yeah, the problem is the muscle memory has us out of sync.
Exactly. The muscle memory says, eyes look at screen and wait.
So, well, yes, this is episode 6 of that Peter Kay thing, technically.
Technically. 7 if you include the pilot, which I didn't do. Oh, well.
Well, to be fair, though, technically, the pilot was on... I think it was shown once in like 1998 though, and then this was filmed in like 1999, 2000.
Yes.
So, well, shown in like 99, 2000. So, like, you only really again saw the pilot if you bought the DVD set.
Yeah,
so,
pretty much.
But if you are keeping track, this is episode 13 of that Peter Kay thing.
6 had 7. Yep. 13.
Phoenix Pod even.
Yeah. 13 episode 13 of the Phoenix Pod, yes. We started this before lockdown.
March.
Yeah, March. So we've been lasting longer than the lockdown. Or restrictions. It's not technically a lockdown now, is it? But we're not talking about that.
No, but what we are talking about is episode 6 of that Peter Kay thing, Lonely at the Top, the Marc Park story.
Yay.
Oh yeah, I've not introduced you yet.
Oh well,
Talking bollocks.
You somewhat did that. We keep it.
He's a man who is half a man. He's stupid. He's allegedly sexy. He's called Flinders. It's Paul Flinders.
I'm stupid, sexy Flinders, and I'm wearing a rather tight Blackpool top again because I forgot to put something new on. We've talked about my shrink wrap Blackpool top. So. But yeah, it doesn't make me feel like wearing nothing at all because it feels like the shirt's actually choking me. So, if you want some sort of advisory sort of thing, like some sort of a customer advice, and you're buying a Blackpool shirt or any football shirt for that matter, go a size bigger than you actually are, because yeah, it makes you look like it makes you look like the Michelin Man. So.
I think the same applies for even for like football and hockey jerseys, to be fair, like in NFL and NHL.
See, this is a new world to me. So
yeah,
I'm not.
Like I can buy an American XL football jersey and it'll probably fit me, whereas I'm like a 2XL in t-shirts. So if I bought a 2XL, it'd be absolutely massive on me.
So Americans go a size down. Right, I remember that. If you are buying off Wish.com, go about 6 up. Pro tip: don't buy clothing off Wish.com.
Make sure you get what you pay for, considering keeps those adverts. So, oh yeah, I bought this for like £2, and I bought a TV for £2. It turned up it's fucking tiny.
It's a TV for a doll's house. I actually know someone that's actually bought a cleaning set, and it actually was for a doll's house.
Oh,
like mop and bucket and duster and shit like that. And he was like, yeah, I've got a proper good deal here. It's like £4. It's got the full set, everything. But yeah, wait till it arrives. Then, you wait the inevitable 7 months when it does arrive. And then it's literally, yeah, I could probably sweep the keyboard with it. That's about it.
Yeah. Oh, well. Well, back to the episode anyway.
Back to the episode, yeah.
So, set 12 months after winning Talent Trek, since Park Avenue won at the Neptune Club, Marc Park has discovered that Cheryl Avenue was pregnant and kicked her out of the band. Now, Mark has gone solo.
He's going solo. Sorry.
So we open a shot of a hill with a couple of trees, and coming over the hill is Marc Park.
Walking his dog, Lady.
And he lets us know via a voiceover that he loves mornings as he walks his dog in a leather coat and leather pants.
And he looks like somebody as a cheap extra from The Matrix, which is like what I thought, but
yeah,
yeah, obscure, not even obscure, but I don't know. It's the vibe I got, sort of thing. Was like shit Neo.
Ginger Neo.
Shit Ginger Neo, and he talks about I don't know the quote, the wordage, per letter, but basically he says he likes going out at this time so he doesn't get recognised, and then he walks past a couple, and the woman's actually dressed almost exactly like him with a fucking leather trench on. And he turns around because she's got a similar hairdo as well, and he looks at it, turns around and goes, "What the fuck?"
I actually didn't notice that bit.
Yeah, it's one of the first scenes.
It was kind of one of those things because I heard the line of where he's like, "I love mornings," and I was like, "Oh god, we got like another bloody softy top like monologue."
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, it was more like a softy top sort of like monologue, but it was more about him going out in the morning with to the park and what have you, where he wouldn't get recognised, and then obviously he walks past this woman that's dressed almost identical to him.
But then we do get a brief monologue of how he apparently belongs to the people now, and he lets his dog off. Shortly after calling to it, as it's with another dog and its owner. Lady, if you get shit on your coat, I'll take this lead to your ass.
No, not you, the dog.
Then the woman seems to think it's for her and walks off disgusted. So now we're in some sort of posh country house with a voiceover reminds us of Marc Park's talent, of his win at Talent Trek 99. Park goes on to say about how people used to stop in the street to congratulate him, as we get a montage set to Peter Gable's Big Time of newspaper clippings announcing the split of Park Avenue, along with a top 40 indicating Marc Park's solo single "Gonna Make You a Star" was new in at number 6, and beaten to the top 5 by "Summer Sun" by Texas, and was ahead of Ronan Keating and Wild Wild West.
Here's the thing, I think on commentary it does say what. So, because obviously it's an actual list that was there in the paper, and he edited it. So they removed a song and inputted Marc Park in there.
Right.
There's a legit list, but they did say on commentary what the song was, but for the life of me, I can't remember what it was. So there's a little snippet for you guys out there. If you want to find out what that is, go and watch it and put the commentary on.
But then Mark says he wants to quash the rumours about the split and says it was amicable between him and Cheryl, along with how it was a hard decision to have to make, along with him also saying they have PUM, which is pure unadulterated magic, apparently.
Absolutely. Yeah, PUM.
Mark is then seen in a United shirt walking into the office of BS Entertainments, which says a lot. A subsidiary of
BS Taxis.
Of BS Taxis run by a gentleman called Bernie St. Angelo. But so as Marc Park enters his office, we see he even has a bomber taxi desk.
That is amazing. That
which has like a desk. The desk lamp is a taxi sign, isn't it?
That's taken some graft. That I mean, the on commentary they talked about it. So it was one of the best bits of kit that they got for the whole series. And I just looking at it and think, I really want this. It's not. I like these sort of things where you sort of like take things and you sort of rework them into different things. Like this, for example, they've taken the front half of a taxi and just turned it into some desk. I don't know what it is. It's probably because I'm a massive hoarder, but
It's more that thing about, so that's where all the money went.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, we can't afford a decent theme tune, but we can get like a taxi for like doubled up as a desk.
So, well, come on. You look at the episode. Look at Phoenix Nights, for example. The main themes is a guy playing on a xylophone. You know,
Yeah,
it's we know where the budget went. It was props, props and location.
So Marc Park lets us know a bit about Bernie, saying that he at one point even minds the Nolan sisters. As we then get an interview with Bernie. He's sat with Park and says Park has that special kind of aura that you can't buy for love nor money. It's rare and it's precious, like gold. But as the cameraman says, what is that that you mentioned? And he says, oh, it's talent, my friend, and this lad shits it. He better not suffer from vertigo, because he's going straight to the top.
I wonder if that came with a smell as well. Usually B and S.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then when they're asking him how he got started with things with Marc Park, Bernie said, we got him in the paper first of all. We used my mate's lap dancing club, and we got a couple of the girls to pose with the lollies out. But then follows up, we sold quite a few papers and kept things bubbling under.
Bubbling under. So it's a Potterism, isn't it?
Oh, it's a full on Potterism.
Yeah. It's bubbling under. But no, it's bubbling over for those that don't understand. But yeah,
he then says they haven't got a contract. He doesn't want to insult Mark, and it's not his style. Then follows up with, he's like the nephew I never had. I made him a promise, and I've stuck to it. And what's that? I'm gonna make him a star.
Oh, he gets notorious. Let's just put it that way.
Well, there is the part where it's the next part is we cut to a music video shot in a park of a song called "Gonna Make You a Star."
Now, I will say one thing about this: I think for what they've done, it's quite well shot, like really well shot.
This bit was well shot, but in terms of describing the video, it's basically like Marc Park is dicking around like a kid's play area.
That's exactly what it is.
Some ladies in showgirl attire.
Yeah,
sort of thing, like Vegas showgirl style.
Yeah, exactly.
And
then Vegas showgirls around a climbing frame and monkey, like not monkey bars, like monkey swingy sort of things, whatever they're called.
Yeah, and it's pretty much just like a kid's play area then, but it's, to me, it's kind of shot in a way that looks cheap and purposely sort of tacky.
Oh, absolutely! It's so low budget. It's cheap and tacky and low budget.
It also kind of is the thing of like normally like music videos have some sort of like a message behind them, like they're filmed in such a way. Where he's on dicking around the park singing "Gonna Make You a Star."
Yeah, it's like right. You can just imagine just getting the head of Marc Park. It's like, right, I'm thinking. We're going to do the production process. We're going to come up with ideas, and he's literally all he's done is put a few pictures up, but he's cut out of like the Argos catalogue of stuff like for the kids stuff, and he's stuck it onto the dartboard, and he's just closed his eyes and thrown it.
This is more like a Bernie idea.
Oh, it could be.
Like, right, Mark, I've got this idea. We're going to go to a park. I've got these women. I'm going to film a video.
Yeah, throw it together in 5 minutes.
So then we're back with Park in the big house with his dog, claiming how he's always been a bit of a ladies' man. And how he apparently had a different one each week. And as he's like playing with his dog, he's like, used to have them hanging off my cock.
It was like a human tree, mug tree.
I'm not deformed or anything. Not got branches sticking out of me. Just a poor choice of words. But then we jump to Frank Park, which is Mark's brother, with Scott at his ladies' man quip.
Yeah. And is this the guy that plays young Kenny?
It's not young Kenny, but he does pop up in season 2 of Phoenix Nights.
Yes, this is where I'm getting confused.
He plays Max's brother.
Of course he does. He's in season 1 as well.
Is he in season 1?
He is when he comes into. See, I knew I recognised him for Phoenix Nights. But he comes in while Paddy's having his haircut.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and he's got a Man United shirt on.
Yes.
Yes, it is him, yeah. So yeah, so he plays Max's brother as well. I knew he was in Phoenix Nights. For some reason I thought, man, he's young Kenny, but he's clearly fucking not. I don't know what it was.
Young Kenny is Justin Morehouse.
Yes.
Who's on he was due to be on at the Lava Pavilion, like back in like early August, but it got cancelled.
Yeah, sadly.
So,
but another Phoenix Nights character, somewhat. Well, not character, but the guy that plays someone in Phoenix Nights appears.
So Frank Park scoffs at Lady Melon Quip and says, "Oh, you never got a sniffly at the big time. We even fixed him up with Nicola Farrell. She was a bike. Everybody had her."
Oh God, he's a ladies' man.
But back with Bernie, asks what his next plan is. He says, "The lottery. Got to get him on there, and the floodgates will open." Look what it did for Jane McDonald.
Oh yeah, she couldn't sing. That's the person he said he couldn't sing, not the Nolans. God.
We then jumped to Park in the studio singing "Flash," written by B. May, as the
May, yeah.
Little graphic reminds us.
That got a chuckle on the commentary. Just B. May. It's like just a randomer that's sort of like he's borrowed the song off.
Then we get a side view reminding us of his pointy snooter.
Oh God, yeah. He's dead paranoid about his nose. You'll notice. He does have a bit of a conch that reminds you of the front end of Concorde. Let's be honest, but yeah.
But then, as they listen to a playback, Park is dressed like he's some sort of redneck farmer in a plaid shirt and dungarees.
Oh fucking hell! And apparently it was because I think because it was because Sting wore one.
Right.
For some sort of famous show. I can't remember for the life of me what it was. But apparently it was a piss take of that.
But Live Aid or something.
Probably. It was some sort of piss take because Sting wore the overall sort of thing, the dungarees. Because actually Paddy asked him, Paddy McGuinness.
Yeah.
Asked him why he's wearing dungarees. So it was a piss take because I think Sting wore them.
Ah.
So,
but it's this bit for me though, where they're listening back, and Marc Park starts acting it out, and there's a bit, and then Bernie just got trying to. It's my favourite line, that.
Yeah.
But then it kicks into that other bit, and like you see Marc Park in that weird little dance. It's quite funny.
Yeah, he's got weird mannerisms and dances, hasn't he? It's like. Yeah. He's clearly one of these guys that's been told that he's cool and he's not, and it's all from his manager. But because he, like for example, we'll get into an example of it later. Because of what he's doing, and people are getting paid, they don't say otherwise.
Yeah.
So it's like if I don't say anything, I still get paid, even though I think he's a bit of a cock. It's. It's one of them, but we'll come back to that later.
Well, Mark does also say this is what it's all been leading to, and that this project is his baby. But then as the song finishes, then we go straight into Radio Gaga.
Yeah, so it's sort of like doing covers. But remember that he's doing covers.
He tells us via voiceover that the album is a mix of old and new.
Yeah,
and tells us he has always been passionate about black music. Rural ethnic soulful sound, the sound of the streets. Aswad, UB40, Eddie Grant. He's even included some Samambi singers who've flown over from South Africa.
Oh, God. They'd never get away with this nowadays. No fucking way.
But then, as he gets questioned, this album sounds like it comes from your heart. What do you want to say with it? And he mentions about the people of Africa, turmoil, oppression, and not knowing where your feels coming from.
This is the funniest bit of the whole episode for me. And it's the most fucking controversial bit as well.
But it's the fact he says, having to fight to exist. He's like, I had to struggle for many years, and then just pauses. As a greengrocer in the fruit and veg business. There were hard times, and I used to cry myself to sleep. But I found faith in the future for African tears. Which then cuts to the recording of the song African Tears, which is really weird because it's just him. It's him standing alone in this like massive wooden panelled like room.
Yeah.
Which to me, like the acoustics would surely like be totally. I could be completely wrong here. There'd be like some like sound engineer kicking off at me at some point down the line.
So that is the best environment that you can have for vocals. Best environment for best acoustics ever. Well,
For acoustics, yeah, but in terms of like normally, because you want this like the sound, like if you're recording like a big open room, you'd normally you'll get like echo and stuff.
Aye.
So.
Like you do in this room sometimes. Cause,
yeah, exactly. Because Paul's recording in a big, massive room. That's like an open plan room.
Yeah, it's sort of like my front room sort of combines with my kitchen, and then I've got the upstairs bit which sort of combines with it as well because it's all open plan. So it's basically a massive void that I'm in at the minute, and yeah, it can echo quite a bit. So, which is why I record in this shed when I can. It's fantastic fucking acoustics in there.
There is.
Because it's a small room.
I know. I'm just reading. There's one of the lines in this song, which is a child who thinks a landmine is a ball.
Yeah.
And the Samambi singers look on confused as Bernie seems to be digging it, and he's like having a little dance or whatever.
Yeah, he's jigging away.
But don't forget to the line. I remember burning tires and the riot police.
Fucking hell.
And one of the singers seems to get agitated by this bit, but the other two like hold him back and just say, "Think about the money."
Yeah.
Which then Bernie slaps one on the back saying, "This is great, lads. Absolutely fantastic."
Yeah. Oh, God. This is like I say that some of these lines you'd never get away with nowadays. No fucking way.
We seem to, it sort of pans over to like a recorder, which seems like African Tears on playback, and then we see like a sheet, like a detailed sheet of like the manager, producer, artist, album title. Which interestingly notes, this evidently spelled Mark with a K.
Yes.
At first, and then someone's like put like a big red C over the K.
Which you'll find out in a minute why.
But so as you also found out, the album is called Homegrown. The mastered tracks so far are African Tears, a medley of Flash, Innuendo, and Radio Gaga.
Yeah.
And Living La Vida Loca.
Yeah. That screams Marc Park. Shaking his hips to that. Then
he's driving around in the Ford Land Rover outside a mansion. The camera carefully hides the number plate until it's revealed in the next shot. As Park mentions, it's apparently a personalised number plate, which reads MEMPC2.
Yep.
He says, he says, I don't have to be famous for a custom plate, but you don't look like a tosser if you do. Well, he stood there in sunglasses and a blue ruffled shirt, like he's on, like the missing member of the Moody Blues.
Yeah. But it's me. It's me, Marc Park. You can have it there, or you could have it there. You know, it came with a car as well. Yeah. Talk about it's a personalised plate, but it's on the car when he fucking bought it. It's fated to me. It scares me.
It's at this point where I've noticed that while he's trying to explain it, he keeps like dropping the Marc Park voice, but then tries to alternate back into it.
Yeah.
But it still drops out of it and ends up doing his normal voice.
He does that later on as well when he's sort of like when there's some points where he's trying to play an agitated Marc Park. He sort of drops out again.
Ah.
You know when he does his stand-up, it's like he goes sort of like high pitched.
Yeah.
That's normal Peter Kay, and he goes from that and then struggles to get back into Marc Park, but he does. He does.
So then inside the house we see a bass, a guitar, and some random shit around the fireplace.
Yeah.
Marc Park says via voiceover that Bernie got him the house job lot on a quick sale, and then follows up with Bargain Bernie. That's what I call him. Bargain Bernie.
I think we're getting it double glazed because imagine it's a bugger to heat it winter.
But it's a place that's like looks very old fashioned and has stained glass windows.
Yeah. And for some reason he's playing chess by himself.
By a fireplace.
When he goes to take a move, what a mate laugh out gave me a chuckle. He goes to make a move. It's like, oh no, I'm not playing that move against myself. Sort of like backs away again.
For fuck's sake. But then, so he dicks about with an acoustic guitar for a bit, and then goes on about how he tries to live a routine life. And the first thing I do in the morning when I get up is I do a bit of yoga. As we see him striking a pose, but then you focus more on his nose, if anything.
Yeah, I
Well,
think this whole spiel that he comes across is actually a piss take of something that some famous artist actually said.
Oh, right.
They mentioned it on commentary, saying it's pretty much word for word what somebody. Now I can't remember the artist. It's someone like Sting or someone like that.
Yeah.
Saying about what they did in the morning routine. And it's mentioned on it. I don't know if it's on a track at CD that they did or if it was on an interview. But he pretty much word for word exactly copied that.
Right.
And it was a piss take to that. So there he's obviously, you see him doing his uniform with his uniform, his yoga, and he's clearly stuck on, I want to say, the Korean symbols going down the shirt. I think they're Korean.
It's in like a random. What's the word? He's got like a random sweatshirt on that looks like some sort of symbols, but he's also back in leather pants trying to do yoga.
Yes, he is. Now I was looking at the symbols and I thought to myself, he can't be surely. Remember years ago, and I think there's been pictures of it on Facebook going round and round where you go like, oh, turn your phone round. Look at these amazing like Japanese sort of like symbols. And when you put it on the shirt, it actually says in sideways. It looks like Japanese symbols. It says "Go fuck yourself." I was looking to see if it was something like that, but it wasn't. It was just random. I think the Korean, but I could be wrong. Like sort of random sort of like symbols. And he's doing what he's doing, and he's like doing all this yoga, and someone randomly in the background sticks on a Hoover. So he enjoys the peace and shit like that. And someone just puts a Hoover on.
Oh yeah, he's trying to meditate, and then we just hear like a ticking clock for a few seconds, and then you just hear a Hoover start up.
Yeah.
But then there's one point we see him cut to him he's lying on his couch mid phone call as his home CD's playing in the background. As we get the voiceover then saying the BBC is making a documentary about his former Park Avenue partner, Cheryl Avenue. And he says to the other person on the other end of the phone, which I'm guessing could be like Bernie or something, I knew she'd do something like this, the devious bitch.
Yeah. He's seen the other side and he realises he's being filmed as he's shouting a load of few expletives and a few, what shall we say, truths that are too true for him to reveal, shall we say.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, and the camera crew's there and he notices it and he shuts the door on them, sort of like mid-conversation. And then we cut away at that point. So it's like, oh, there's something more going on here. And then is it to the point where he ends up, you see him in bed at that point?
He's lying in bed watching the doc in his personalised like dressing gown. Which has like a bit of MP on the chest.
Oh, yeah,
as the documentary reveals that Cheryl's been living in poverty, and then she's asked about the split, and if she suspected that he wanted to split up, and she's, oh no, never. But he never told me because he's a coward.
It's not about the money. It's not about the money. I just want to tell my story.
Well, it's
get the truth out there, something like that.
Well, it's sort of revealed is like Mark found out she was pregnant, so he kicked her out of the band, and then there's a throwback scene of in the club saying, "Oh, but I push Cheryl a lot, but it's for good of the band," and whatever other gibberish he says about her. But then it's back to her. She's like, I don't want money. I just want people to know the truth, and I want peace of mind.
Yeah.
And then the cameraman's like, what do you think? Before he can even finish, Mark's like, I'm speechless. It was her choice to leave, but then there's no maternity leave in show business.
Fucking hell. It's just he starts to come at the beginning of the episode. He's still somewhat likable. But then,
he's got this line here, the next line, which is, at the end of the day, she lacked talent. She lacked what it took to get to the top.
And completely contradicts what he said at the beginning of the episode.
But then, like, the question Bernie, he's like, do you think the interest in Cheryl will affect him? No. Next. Why do you think Mark's upset? He ain't got time to get upset. He's a busy boy. He's got album release on Monday. He's got a press launch on Tuesday. I've had a call back from Channel 5 for an appearance on Night Fever.
Fucking hell.
I've just put a call through to a mate of mine, the smoker who works in the National Lottery. I ain't got time for him to be upset.
Smoker in the National Lottery.
I ain't got time for him to be upset. I just need to be on his toes when that bell rings.
Oh my god, that's like saying I'm gonna call up my contact who's in touch. Who's in touch with Lionel Messi. The guy that cleans his boots for him.
Well, there's always that line from Breaking Bad from me, where it's Saul Goodman, where he says like, it was one of the adverts from like the last season, where he's like, I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy, and so on and so on like that. Like,
Oh god, that's something I've just started watching, by the way. Breaking Bad. I'm up to season 2, episode 2, I think.
It's one of my all-time favourite shows, but that's another podcast.
Yes, it is. We might have to once I've watched it, because it's all on Netflix. So that's what me and my missus is going through right now. We're smashing through it. It is fucking brilliant, by the way.
So, yes, we'll discuss that another time, though.
We shall.
So, Mark tries to carry on business as usual as we see two Mercs pulling up into a car park. As we find out Mark is going to be shooting a video for Christmas 2000, which is, of course, trying to get the Christmas #1.
Oh, this is the point where everything starts to fall apart, shall we say?
What's in the makeup chair? Cheryl is Mark has sort of been interviewed whilst he's getting makeup. Well, Cheryl's entitled to her version of the truth, and so am I. But I don't wish her any harm. I wish her all the luck in the world. There's a Bernie. That's what we like to hear.
Yeah. Then does he smack her ass or something like that?
Well, he mentions the director of the videos in a couple of Bond films and something else. Then the makeup artist bends over and he smacks her on the arse, and Bernie's like, "Yes, lad," sort of thing.
Fucking hell. Again, nowadays you would be absolutely strung up for that.
Well, we then get the Samambi singers who are back, been dressed like fucking Zulu or something at Christmas.
Yeah.
And there's a guy in a polar bear suit who's like, "It's racist. You can't do that. It's racist."
It's like, you can't do that, no. Was it cultural
appropriation?
Yeah.
Then, so Marc Park tells him he's finished and to get him out of there. Like, someone get him out of here. The guy in the polar bear suit, "Where's your Christmas spirit?" It's August in polar bear, the tenner penny.
Oh god.
But Mark's saying the Samambi love the snow and they've never seen it, as they do some sort of dance to the music. And then goes on to mention it's not real snow, but they don't know that.
And there's a tidbit on commentary as well where Peter Kay's talking about the snow, and when they did it, it's all the inside of like Tampax, apparently.
Right.
When they did it, and once upon a time they tried doing the same trick many moons ago, and I'm not 100% sure if this is a joke or not, so I'm taking this with like a whole salt shaker of salt. Apparently he swallowed some while he was doing what he was doing and nearly choked on it. Yeah. So yeah, take that at you as you will.
But then he does also shout over Dougie for a Solero. But then we get the start of the video as he tries to emerge from some sort of like igloo or like a cave, like a small shaped cave.
It's like a cave, I'd say, sort of like a frozen like cave.
But it's evidently too small. He kicks off when he balls up emerging from it. He gets stuck. It's too small. Who built that? It's too small.
But then take two and he comes out of it.
And then Bernie's loving the video. We get some females who appear.
Yeah.
And of course, the song is bloody awful.
It's fucking awful. You've got the guys in the background, these dressed as the Zulu guys, and all they do is literally just push the shield forward constantly throughout the whole thing. That is all they do. They bang the spear and move the shield. There is a little tidbit on the women that come out, by the way, on commentary.
Yeah.
Firstly, Paddy is perving as per usual. And you got the makeup, and then Paddy's perving on the makeup artist, whoever it is, the woman that's there. And she comes out and he literally goes, "Good morning," on commentary. And And then the girls come out, and obviously the Santa outfits, and goes, "Oh, that's more like it," sort of thing. And then Peter Kay actually says, "Actually, they're actually really clever because they did something unscripted during this, where when they're in the middle of the dance and Marc Park's singing 2000, they actually make this number 2000 with their arms."
All right.
So if you go from left to right, the world, it's literally for a split second, but when you see it, you can't miss it. She does the 2 at the end, and all the others put like their arms in like a circle, sort of thing above the head.
Ah,
And he makes the number 2000 sort of. It's literally like a split second. You blink, you'll miss it. But it's there. Peter Kay also, if you watch it on commentary, just goes, "Yep, there it is." But yeah, it's there. So they do the 2000 there. They're actually not just doing random dances and whatever. They actually make their own shit up.
It's the line for me though in this song where he's like, "It's Christmas 2000," and he just follows up with the new number 1, and it's like, oh god, like.
Oh, it reminds me of the old. I'm gonna confess now. This is almost like it is like a confession. I like Eurovision, and there was a song many moons ago, and it reminded me of it. It was like literally, the song was called "We Are the Winners of Eurovision," and it was by Custodia that sang it or something like that. When they'd finished the song, they started booing. The whole crowd booed. And it reminded me of that. It's like, yeah, we're number 1. So we're going to get the Christmas number 1. So, no, you're not. You're going to get beaten by the greatest Christmas song of all time that we discussed on podcast one time, Cheeky Christmas. That is the greatest Christmas song of all time. Come at me, bro.
Debatable. Very debatable.
No comment.
Bullshit. He of course claims he thinks that people will think he's cashing on the millennium, but then he says he's in fact religious and he's celebrating Jesus' birthday whilst munching a Solero. But then whilst happily munching away, he says, "Many happy returns," until the cameraman's like, that won't be till Christmas 2000. Well, Christmas 2000. Yeah. Whereas this time around it's Christmas 1999. What? Christmas 1999. Yeah. Bernie?
Yeah. It's like shit.
But then back to the video though, he gets semi-religious from mentioning Jesus healing the sick, disabled, and deformed.
Fuck.
Well, then it's cut straight to a bit of him reading a paper about Cheryl's documentary, stating got over 9 million viewers.
He has a fucking meltdown.
He kicks something over and has a tantrum. As he's asking Bernie, why didn't you tell me? I don't want you to find out and get upset.
Yeah, he keeps it from him. He can't keep it from, but it's on. It's like I say, it's in every single paper going at this moment in time. He goes, "Oh, today's news, you know that today's papers are tomorrow's chip papers. They've been forgotten about." And I think he runs over and he boots over sort of like the coffee and whatever the thing is, and what have you, with more believability in that kick than every single Raw Underground that we've ever seen so far. But yeah, he proper goes for it. Peter Kay says on commentary, that's like every single filming session we've ever done.
Well, it's this part for me though with Bernie, because Bernie walks over the camera and he's like, "Turn it off," and then he turns to some Ambi guys and he says to him, cut it out, you lot. It's bloody pissing down outside.
Oh no. It's more of a shot laugh on that one. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake. And it's like all the vitriol and all the... that's not so vitriol, but more of the distasteful humour is literally aimed at these three guys throughout the whole fucking 15 minutes that these guys have been in the episode. And then he walks off. He takes Marc Park with him. He says, "Come on now, let's go and see your Uncle Charlie." That was cocaine, if you don't know, an innocent like I was.
was a funny bit in Phoenix season 2 of Phoenix Nights, but I'll cover that when we get to it, which is similar vein. Um, then so we get a voiceover, which is months of hard work and that's an end. Marc Park's debut album is complete. As Mark's there in his house, his house that he got Bernie got him, showing us a hard copy. It's 42 minutes and 16 seconds of pure unadulterated even bliss.
Yeah,
why is it called homegrown? Well, I'm a greengrocer by trade, which is homegrown. My talent's homegrown.
My family's homegrown.
Family's homegrown. But then said, family is the most important thing in my life, and it's important that we're close. And people neglect the family. cut to his brother and partner. Oh, he's not heard from him. and he's got my old little sander.
Yeah, the one with little sockets. And his wife sort of nudges him, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Like, oi!
And the cameraman mentions the pictures behind him, and Marc Park says, "Oh, I don't know who they are. They just came with the frames." So then we see him at the opening of an Asda, which is clearly, you made it to the big time, or fallen off it.
Yeah.
Whilst being hounded by pensioners for autographs, someone's thrown an apple or something at him, saying, "Take that, you twat."
Yeah. Take that, you twat. Crack. And then
we then see him speeding off somewhere as it's revealed Cheryl's released her own single and he's getting radio play.
Yeah. And you find out, he says, Covers? Anyone could do fucking covers. Bear in mind, he's got Living the Vida Loca as a master copy on his CD. And he's slacking her off for it. Because she's singing I Will Survive.
So then he tries to ring Bernie whilst driving, and in the middle of saying, "Bernie, turn your phone off, you piece of shit."
Yeah.
So, if someone's graffitied a sign which is carrying one of his posters, they draw like a dick on his head and they're giving him a bigger nose.
Yeah.
As he tries to wipe it off, and he turns to three lads, and he's like, "Have you done this?" No, we haven't done it. He turned back to it to clean up, try and clean up as that little bastards.
And then that's the credits start rolling.
Yeah, the credits roll, and as we find out, Bernie's hit a financial slump and gone out of business. As Parky's on the phone in his big house and removal men are taking stuff out.
Yeah.
He asks about night fever and then mentions Carol G's.
Hey, but the problem is we've drank all our bottle after the last episode because Carol G's actually appeared. So stick your finger in the
bottle.
Open another bottle. There you go. Thank you very much. Yes, open another bottle. I've drank all my energy drink. Oh no, there's some left. Shake the can and get it all out.
Yeah, it mentions Carol G's and then said, "What's he got that I haven't got? Apart from a dog that spits."
But then you got, and then does one of the guys try to take the dog?
No, he tries to take something, but then he runs after him. He's sort of that's part of a set or something.
Oh yeah, that's part of a set. That is, yeah, I remember that. I remember the dog barking or making a noise or something like that, and he running after it as well. But it could be just a coincidence. They're sort of like the same.
Well, it's strange because in the next scene there's a bit where he says he can't handle it. He's like, "I can't handle it anymore." He's stroking a lady who's got like a leg bandaged.
Oh, so yes, there you go.
So
yeah, they've actually probably dropped something on the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay.
And he compares the downfall to what happened to Gary Glitter in a way.
Fucking hell. Yeah.
He's like, this is what happened to Gary. He says something like, "This is what happened to Gary Glitter." And pauses. He goes, "In a way."
Yeah, he's gonna say that's how you suck the air out of the room. I mean, of all the offensive shit that's been said.
But then he follows it up with he says, "Oh, the show must go on, and I will survive."
Bearing in mind that's what the rival song's called.
Then next week, Mark has to cope with life on his own out of the limelight as we see him shot walking through pushing a trolley through what must be that new house that he's opened.
Yes.
But he picks up several copies of their own CD, which all been reduced to 99p each.
99p or 45 minutes of unadulterated bliss.
So then he's had to move in with his brother and family, who then says, as he's there brushing his teeth or something in his, is he his footy shirt or his purple shirt?
It's in his purple shirt, but he's almost Porky Piggin.
Yeah. And
He's almost
like, I can't get work. What am I supposed to do? But then as his brother says, you can't get work, you can't stay here.
Mm.
But as he retorts, I've got suits upstairs that cost more than most men make in a month.
So.
Cheryl makes a debut on the national lottery. She sings "I Will Survive," and Mark is back selling fruit and veg from a Suzuki van with the MEMPC2 plate.
Yeah.
That's what is it? He says, "You take me out the fruit and veg, but you can't take the fruit and veg out of me," or something.
He's back wearing his Bolton Wanderers shirt.
Then after being recognised as, "You that bloke from Park Avenue?" He says, No, that wasn't me. He had a bigger nose.
Do you want to buy a CD? They're signed.
Yeah, so as they walk off, he pulls out a box and shouts, "Do you want to buy a CD?" And that's our episode.
That's it. That's all. That's the series.
But interesting to note, just before we sort of go into our final thoughts and stuff for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is like it's a solo character ep.
Yes, there was no other characters.
Aside from the voice of Paul Leroy on Chorley FM playing Cheryl's song, there was no other Peter Kay characters.
Yeah, it was just him on his own. It was, to be honest with you, it was the story of Marc Park again, like it was the story of Leonard. So it made sense.
True, but in terms of keeping with like the running theme for that we've picked up on through this, they mentioned Carol G's.
Yep.
Where was Alan?
Yeah, there was no Alan this time.
No Alan as well. So
yeah, so dropped a few things. It went a little bit different on this episode. For me, it was probably the weakest of the bunch. This was. I mean, we got a few chuckles out of it, but I personally think it's probably the fact that we are talking about it and getting chuckles out of it from each other, as opposed to sitting there and watching the episode. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think this episode, it's there with Leonard as the weakest. Like we were saying before we came on, I don't know why this was picked as the final episode.
No, it was.
I would have done this as probably 5.
Yeah, and to quote you, this was a fucking slog. It really was hard to watch. I watched it the first time, and bear in mind this is the first time I've seen these episodes, and I do recall actually seeing snippets of this episode elsewhere. I think I've seen the scene with the Solero before, and I can't remember where from, but I have seen it. And I remember watching it and I was like, this wasn't that funny. Now, Peter Kay's humour is the type of humour I adore it. It makes me chuckle every time I watch it. Like Phoenix Nights, I don't think there's an episode that I've not enjoyed.
Yeah, exactly. Ever. Yeah.
And I'll be brutally honest with you. I was on the verge of not enjoying this episode at all, to the point where I found it really difficult to put it back on to watch the commentary. Now, normally I watch these 3 times, but I tried to be like, right, I need to watch it a 3rd time. I couldn't bring myself to do it. It was like it was a slog. It was hard to. It wasn't enjoyable, this episode at all. For me, now there was one episode I called downright shit, but this was actual shit. I thought there was a few bits in it, but it was more shock humour, like it's been generally offensive, just like it was all like the genuinely like chuckly bits was like, yeah, these jokes are aimed at these African lads. It's an African joke.
Yeah, it was for this episode. It seemed to be based more on the controversial side of things rather than the normal humour that you become used to.
Yeah, it was not.
It's kind of like with Leonard. Like Leonard was more, for me, it was a bit of a cringy episode.
Yes,
because of how Leonard is like just an awkward person.
Yeah, absolutely,
And
100% agree on that.
this one's kind of like, well, Marc Park's a bit of a dick.
Yeah, he's a cock. He's an
Like,
absolute dickhead.
He's got Bernie as like a positive reinforcer sort of thing for him. Like, oh yeah, you're
he's an
doing great,
enabler.
lads. Like,
Yeah, he's an
he's an
enabler.
enabler. Yeah.
It's if you think back to other dickheads that have been in this, in this series, the main one that comes to mind is Softy, and
Yeah.
at least there's some redeemable thing about him. There was something about it, but this is another level. He's the fact that he'll change his story to whoever suits him. For example, the story of the band that he split up. If you asked him before this documentary came out, she was the bee's knees. She was amazing. She was full of talent. This, that, and the other. PUM, pure unadulterated magic, or whatever it was. And then all of a sudden the documentary comes out and the truth comes out, and she's worse than shit. It's there's nothing to like about him, and Peter Kay on the commentary says, you got to feel sorry for him in a way. When he's back, you feel sorry for him when he's back doing the sort of like being a greengrocer. And I thought to myself, no, I don't. I'm quite happy with the fact that he's had his fucking rug pulled from under his feet. It's...
Well, he's trying to hit the big time. He evidently made some bad decisions. And that's sort of cost him. And
yeah, the fame
came like
his head.
He won Talent Trek. He got his hits and he got his music videos and he got his big flash house. Cheryl had nothing. Like, so evidently it was probably more so her who had the talent than him.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it was evident when you watch that episode with the Talent Trek. If you watch it, you think to yourself, who's the one that's actually, actually the most standout person in that show. Even then, it's that way out. But again, it's another episode that makes, it shows Peter Kay fancies himself as a singer. More singing for Peter Kay. I mean, I think this is the whole reason he wanted to do Car Share, because it gives
Well, as you well know, just literally you came on, like you logged on to Skype and you could, I can hear music, and it was like, yeah. Right, before anything, I need to show you this. Do you remember this song?
Yes.
Which was, because it was interesting to note in the chart where it's number 5 was Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Texas, and when Texas and Marc Park did a song called Sleep.
Yes.
Of course.
Which I'm going to have to look on YouTube.
There is a music video which looks like it was filmed in the Phoenix Club. And he's in the purple suit that he wore for Talent Trek and that, his sort of signature purple suit. And he's there doing bass with his massive nose. And he's there with, Sharon from Texas. And they reenact little bits from like films like Ghost and Dirty Dancing or whatever.
Oh, fucking hell, this now rings so many bells.
And young Mary, Mary Jr., what she's called, Holy Mary Jr., and Sean Gibson.
Yeah, Kaylee from Car Share.
Kaylee from Car Share, yeah. She's pops up in the music video, and so...
Alright, something to look up anyway. Sleep by Texas.
I forgot about it till I then typed in, I thought, I'll look up something before Paul gets online. I went on YouTube, typed in Marc Park, and it comes up Marc Park, Texas. I'm like, search?
Yeah.
And it came up, so...
So, yeah.
So, yeah, that was, that's that Peter Kay thing.
Yeah. Overall, what did you think?
Well, it's kind of like you said, I think, as you said to the lads in our group chat, you're like, spoiler alert, the last 4 episodes, or the second half of this series is a fucking slog.
Yeah.
Like, it's a tough watch at points just because it's not very funny at parts.
It really isn't. It's like you're waiting for the next funny bit and it doesn't arrive, or it's not as funny as what you're expecting. Because the first 3 episodes for me, not including services, are fucking brilliant. The club's fantastic. Eyes Down is fantastic. The arena I fucking loved.
No, Ice Cream Man was number 3.
All right, well, I like the arena as well.
Yeah. So the first 4 episodes for you.
First 4 are brilliant. The last 2, though, fucking hell. I'm looking for the message now. What it actually puts? Where are you? Oh yeah. Spoiler for those who listen, but fuck me, does this series nosedive from episode 4 onwards? Make that episode 5 actually, but yeah, the last 2 episodes. If you're gonna watch, it's difficult. I would watch them though, at least for once, just to say you've seen them. If you're a big Peter Kay fan, this is not something you've watched.
You need to watch them at least once, but it's going like for me. If I'd like to go back and rewatch them again for the first time, just to be like, yeah, the arena, and then it's like Leonard, and just to see if it sort of is like, or if it's just sort of this isn't funny at all.
It's like they go completely different in direction wise. I mean, for the last 2 episodes, it's almost like they're experimental. You know, episode 5 they go for more like the cringy, uncomfortable laugh.
Yeah.
Whereas episode 6, the one we've just reviewed today, it's more of a shock laugh that they're going for. And
I wonder if they've gone for that, like the sort of the more darker humour, because there was a name in the credits, and it's completely slipped my mind now of someone who provided extra material, and it wasn't Neil Fitzmaurice or whatever he's called who plays Ray Von.
Yeah,
it was another name. I think it was like Craig something.
I'll have to look.
So whether that's contributed to more the darker humour,
possibly.
But no doubt they probably went into it going, well, this is the last episode. We can pretty much do and say what we want in this one. So should we just be a bit racist or whatever and a bit controversial? Maybe sort of thing like. Oh, he's blue. He's blue, Alan. He's blue.
He's blue, yeah. Bit of blue for dads, but unfortunately, for me, it really didn't hit the mark. I mean, we laughed at it, but we're more laughing in shock.
Yeah.
I would say it just. No, it's just not fun. Like, for example, the comment about fucking what? The burning people in tyres.
Oh, I remember the burning tyres and the riot police.
Yeah, it's like, no. No, it's just not funny. It's like when someone does something shocking. And you also, because laughter isn't necessarily a sign of like,
it can be a nervous reaction.
It can be a nervous reaction. That's why there's nervous laughter. You know, it's sort of like, disbelief. You know, it's not necessarily because you find something funny, and it's not always a good thing. And for me, like I say, for this episode, it just did not hit the fucking mark at all. And Marc Park was just completely unlikable. But I'm assuming that's it was the goal of the episode.
Well, it's kind of, but then if like on the commentary, Peter's like, "Oh, you're meant to feel sorry for him." It's like, well, he got fame to a degree,
yeah,
but then Cheryl got even more fame because like
it backfired. It's sort of like, but the thing is, well, you think, he's been a scumbag because of fame, but then you realise later on in the episode, he's not even spoke to his family because he's a complete knobhead for years.
But then it's kind of that thing though. It's like going sort of like Bernie's like, oh, we're doing this and this for him. It's like he made it to local papers. He filmed a couple of music videos, and he was meant to be going on Night Fever and National Lottery because a mate of mine in the smoke who works on National Lottery. But then Cheryl made it to National Lottery.
Yeah, all by herself.
Whereas pretty much Marc Park's reduced to opening a bloody Asda.
It says it all, really, doesn't it?
Like, so, you know.
But yeah, this series in general, I'd watch it again. But because I've watched Leonard now and I've watched Lonely at the Top, I would probably miss them out. The first 5 episodes, if you include in the pilot, are the ones to watch. You're
definitely
not missing out if you miss Leonard and you miss Lonely at the Top.
Well, when I got the DVDs, I did watch them all, but it was sort of that thing of like, oh yeah, I'll give it a watch again. But it got to episode 4, and I watched the arena, and then it sort of was like, I could watch episode 5 and 6, but I really don't want to.
No, it's not that it's just they're just difficult to motivate yourself to watch because you know what you're going into. If you watched it on the telly, then you obviously didn't know when it came out, and I don't know if it got a better reception for that. Maybe, I don't know. But knowing what we know now, I can't justify saying watch those 2 episodes. I can say watch the first 4 though.
It'd be interesting to see if like it popped up on like Netflix or something, or if it was like the recent controversies of like the Fawlty Towers episode.
Yeah.
And something else I got pulled as well. And it's like, it'd be funny if like, well, it's more not funny, but strange if like they showed these again. And then Channel 4 got like inundated with complaints for this episode of like, pack it in, you lads. What is it? He says,
pack it in, it's pissing it down outside.
It was pissing down outside, sort of thing. Insinuating that they're going to do it like they're doing a rain dance. Sort of like, oh yeah, well, let's go see your Uncle Charlie.
Yeah, it's too controversial nowadays for him to put on. That's probably why you don't see Phoenix Nights anymore or out like that. So it's just one of them. But yeah, I recommend watching it, and then stopping after episode 4. You're not missing anything after that. Now, I did say on the last episode I was going to watch the extras that you get and maybe give some feedback on that, but I'll be brutally honest with you. This episode's battered my fucking head, and I didn't have the motivation to do it. So what I will do, I will watch them as well as the next thing that we're going to watch going forward.
Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we're getting to that. And before we crack on with that, I'll probably give you a brief lowdown on what's the extras on that Peter Kay thing, and what they're like and what they entail, and if there's any Easter eggs.
Sweet. Well, of course, if you've been listening to this series from episode 1 of season 1 of Phoenix Nights, you'll know that next time we will go into doing season 2.
Hey! Which means we can bring back Lewis and his amazing intro.
You all right?
You're all right. It's the Phoenix Club.
Or is it next week?
Well, we'll have to see. Is it?
We'll find out what happened with Den Perry's cigarette in the bin, or cigar in the bin even.
The cigar.
So, yes. So 2 weeks time, we are looking at season 2, episode 1 of that bollocks. Phoenix Nights.
It's only the podcast's only named after it, Coxie. Come on.
It's been a long week.
It's been a long week watching that episode.
It's been a week.
It has been a week. It has. It's been a period of time normally of 7 days. It really has. Yeah, especially for you fucking grafter.
Well, someone's going to put the work in.
Absolutely. It's not me at the minute.
Oh, there we go then. So, that pretty much wraps up the episode. So you might as well just give yourself some plugs.
I shall. Yeah, you can find me on the UK RAD Live podcast. We're on all the available podcast catchers out there. Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Music, you name it, we're on there. We're also on YouTube as well. We've got a back catalogue on there. Pretty handy. You can find us on Facebook. Just look for RAD Podcast or UK RAD Live on there. You are on Twitter at UK RAD Podcast. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But you can also find my alter ego, Steve, as Steve the Betrayer, or Steve, Avatar of Poseidon, on Twitter at Steve AOTGTMP, where he's a character in a podcast called Gunpowder, Treason, No Plot, who he turns up every so often. And you can usually find him tormenting our good friend Bunkle on there, threatening to do unspeakable shit to him and probably failing. But yeah, have a look, have some fun, and check out the podcast as well at Treason No.
Cool. And you can of course find yourself on Podchaser.
Hey, we can, yeah. I'm on Podchaser now, which I still need to give you the information of when I'm on Gunpowder. Leave that to me.
And of course, you can find the Phoenix Pod, the Lost Art of Podcasting, and the Lost Art of Wrestling on all good podcast providers, including Spreaker, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. You name it, we're probably on it. So, and you can of course find us on Facebook. We're on Twitter at Lost Art Podcast. We're on Instagram at Lost Art Podcasting. For Lost Art of Wrestling, it's the same, Lost Art of Wrestling and at LAOW Podcast. And of course, if you want to help out the show in any way, please leave us a review on either iTunes or Podchaser. That would help us massively. And of course, tell your friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Let them know. Let them know. Spread the love.
Because it's Christmas.
It's
2000.
Oh, fuck's sake. It's 1999.
What?
It's Christmas 1999.
Bernie? Well, for this episode of the Phoenix Pod, I've of course been AXC.
And I've been stupid, sexy Flinders.
And bollocks, I forgot the line again now.
Oh, Jesus
Where
Christ.
is it? It's alright, I'll cut it in. Where is it? Cut it out, you lot. Bloody pissing down outside.
Oh, God.